Hello, it's Trigger Time. I'm Sean Temi and I'm your host. Before we jump right into it, a brief overview of what Trigger exactly is. Trigger is me trying to make you feel something. Trigger is me trying to make you form an opinion about serious social issues that happen currently in Africa. We're going to go around the streets, interviewing people to get society's perception as to what they feel about certain controversial issues. Now, the topic for today. Today we're going to be focusing on rape culture and perception in today's African society. What is rape culture? Rape culture is the normalization of sexual violence, and rape culture is the media and pop culture excusing it. Now, to further understand what is rape culture, I went out into the streets and asked people what they understood by rape. Here is what they have to say.
Rape is a sexual abuse. Somebody did not, no agreement, just a man from nowhere just hold a young girl. Because you feel you are a man, you have power. You can overpower the person, then you use your power with force, enter the person.
Rape is a forced sexual activity.
Rape is when a woman be taken by force.
What do you think is the definition of rape? There's a bit of gray areas when it comes to defining rape. For instance, in UK, the law defines rape as the penetration of the male organ into the female organ. So it does not recognize, for instance, the insertion of sexual objects as rape. It also does not recognize that a man can be raped. However, that doesn't mean they do not accept that men can be sexually assaulted. It's just down to legal definitions and black and white and no gray areas. However, it will shock you to realize that there are people who do think men cannot be raped, and this mentality contributes to rape culture. I went out into the streets and I asked people, do you think men can be raped? And I was shocked to find out that a lot of people thought they could not be raped.
Let me also ask, do you think a man can be
Everybody
raped?
has rights. That's why Nigeria, they do not know.
Examples of rape culture. Rape culture is blaming the victim. Rape culture is trivializing sexual assault and saying boys should be boys. Rape culture is scrutinizing what the victim was wearing or what she was drinking. Rape culture is putting the blame on the victim and not the actual culprit. Yes, people do blame the victim, especially in this society. I went out into the streets with pictures of two anonymous women. One was covered up and one was, quote unquote, indecently dressed. I asked my subject, imagine a scenario where these two people were raped. Who would you say deserved it? And a lot of people chose option B, which was the scantily dressed woman. And they then went on to justify that choice by saying she deserved it, she was more at fault than the actual rapist. Watch this. And warning, you will be triggered.
Now look at this picture, A or B. Can you see they are dressed differently? Now imagine a scenario where these two women are raped. Who would you say deserved it between them?
Is the one for the right hand, because this is improper dressing.
Okay, now whose fault would you say it is? If this woman B is raped, is it her fault or her rapist's fault?
Actually, it's her fault. She don't supposed to dress like that. If she dress like this, as I say earlier, it's improper dressing.
If somebody addressed like this, let's say there is a place they call Zone 4.
Yes.
Some girls go there to market their body. Somebody that is addressed like this, stay in Zone 4, is looking for something. Either man call him for business, or they can use force because he deserves it.
The B.
B, that's the one that is exposed.
The one that's showing everything outside. But like this one, I'm not sure that the man can rape her.
Okay, so if a woman is scantily dressed and she's raped, would you say it's the man's fault or it's her fault?
It's her fault.
Who will you say between them deserve to be raped?
I would say the B deserve to be raped because she dressed indecent.
So do you think the person at fault is the victim and not the rapist?
Both.
Rape occurs at home also. No one is thinking of those factors when they rape their wives. Speaking of raping wives, people realize that husbands can rape their wives. I asked my subjects, and a lot of them thought they owned the woman was their property, and they could have sex with her whenever they pleased, and it could not be constituted as rape. That is troubling.
Do you think a husband can rape his wife?
I don't think so.
Why?
I don't think so. Because if the husband can rape the wife, then in the first place, why did he marry the woman?
Do you think a husband can rape his wife?
At times they take it by force.
Do you think a man can rape his wife?
A man can rape his wife.
Rape culture is telling women to avoid getting raped, but not telling men to not rape. Rape culture is normalizing rape. Rape culture is excusing it. All these are harmful. All these are harmful mentalities to possess because it leads to victims keeping quiet because they feel they will be blamed for such an unfortunate event happening to them.